Hey there, everybody. Now, maybe you've been thinking about wanting to live in a fun, trendy home, maybe a historic home, something a little funky even, here in downtown Sarasota. It's so nice because we've got a lot of independent shops and restaurants in this small area. The marina's right there, the bayfront. It's just so fun to see the water and watch the boats. Then right over the Ringling Bridge, we have Lido Key and St. Armand's Circle. And then just to the south of us is Siesta Key. So the area offers a whole lot. Sounds divine, doesn't it? But what does it take to live here? And what is it really all about? Let's see if it's a good fit for you. So that's what I'm gonna cover today. The homes here in downtown Sarasota. Hi, my name is Jill Thomas, and each week I bring new videos and fresh content about what it would be like to move here to the Sarasota area on the West Coast, what it's like to even just live in Florida. You know, what is it, how hot is it really? We'll cover things like that, and then of course all things real estate. So if this maybe has been on your radar to make that move, then this is the channel for you. Be sure to tap that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and keep on watching. And then when you're ready to kind of take the next step, level up, then please give me a call, text, or email me. I would be so happy to help answer your questions and see if this area is really a good fit for you or not. Now, it seems like a lot of the people I talk to fall into one of two camps. Either they really want to be in the middle of it all, or they're just looking for more peace and quiet. They want more privacy. So for those folks that fall into the first category, where they sort of want to be in the middle of it all, and maybe just with a moderate amount of privacy, then this is a great video for you, because of course we're talking about living in downtown Sarasota. So that'll change things up a bit. But even if you're not looking for being in the middle of it all and you do want privacy, to be honest with you, the first part of this video I think you're gonna find pretty great, because I'm gonna share with you a lot of what our area has to offer. So don't give up on me quite yet. Number one, where is downtown Sarasota? Now, in this video, I'm including downtown Sarasota as this area bordered by to the west, the bayfront marina that right there, and also it's Gulfstream Avenue. Gulfstream is also 41 in that section. So as 41 goes north and south, there's a few places where actually the road has a name to it. So this is one of those cases. Now to the north, it's Fruitville Road, so that runs east and west. To the east side of downtown, 301 or Washington Boulevard, which now runs north and south. And then to the south section of downtown, it's Mound. And again, this is just 41 or Tamiami Trail, and this is another section where it has a name. Now, the overall area of downtown is really quite small. This little narrow area I'm going to talk about, it's less than 1 square mile. And I used, with the help of Google Maps, tried to measure out some things. And from what I can gather, it's maybe about 6/10 of a square mile in this area. It might be a little bit larger, but just roughly speaking. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about the homes, the shops, the restaurants, everything down there. The area is not super big at all. And then for some of you guys that like to look up things differently, the zip code in this area is 34236. 34236. Now this zip code just doesn't include this area of downtown Sarasota, but a small section just to the south, a larger section to the north, and then also Bird Key, Lido Key, and St. Armand's. Number two, what does downtown Sarasota really have to offer? Well, I'm glad you asked. There's quite a bit that you can do down there, and so I'm gonna go through a list of those things. So first of all, there are commercial properties, shops and restaurants. A lot of these are locally owned and operated. They're not chain places, except there is a Starbucks there and there is a Whole Foods, but it's nice that there's a grocery store right there in the downtown area, and then there's 2 Publix grocery stores very close by as well, from the north end and the south end. But then in addition to like your delis, your cafes, nicer higher end restaurants, just more casual restaurants, different types of boutiques, there's art galleries, then there's other types of properties as well, like salons, spas, real estate offices, financial planners, attorneys, you name it, it's downtown. So there's a lot of things happening there, and it just kind of adds to the vibrant life of the area. Letter B, events. There are a lot of events that take place throughout the year in downtown. Now, a lot of them are more often outside of our summer months just because we have less residents here and it's pretty hot outside, pretty hot and sticky and humid, but it doesn't mean that there isn't anything happening all year. But some of the things that you're going to see going on are going to be different types of festivals, or like art shows, craft shows, boat shows. There might be food festivals, a seafood festival. There's other independent organizations that will utilize some of the green area that we have there for hosting their events. So maybe there's something for animals and pets. There's all different things that can happen downtown. And then of course every Saturday morning we have a farmer's market, which is great. But then also there's certain sections of downtown that host their own regular events. So on Palm Avenue, one Friday night a month, they have like a gallery walk where the galleries are open later, so you can go and look at the art. And then in the Towles Court section, they do something similar as well. They do an art walk once a month on a Friday night, and thankfully those are on 2 different Friday nights. They don't compete with each other. And then they'll have live music and different things too. So there's lots of things that can happen in downtown all throughout the year, between the morning, the daytime, and in the evening. Letter C, theaters. Oh, there's lots of theater downtown, right in that little less than 1 square mile area. There's the Urbanite Theater. And then there's the Florida Studio Theater that has a number of buildings and venues downtown. They go by a couple different names, but if you just go to the website for the Florida Studio Theater, you're going to see what all the different shows that are available. A long time ago, we used to have a Golden Apple Dinner Theater down there, but that's no longer there. And then we also have a couple movie theaters as well. So on Main Street, farther from the water, like farther east, there is, I think it's a Regal Theater, we call it the Hollywood 20, and that's there. And then also in the Burns Court area, there's just another little small movie theater. So it's great that there's a lot of options if you're into live theater or the movies. Letter D, library. Well, we actually have a really large, lovely library downtown called the Selby Library, and so that's a beautiful building. And then letter E, we've got the bayfront and the marina right there. So if you just cross over Gulfstream, it's just so gorgeous there. You can watch all the boats, watch the wildlife. You can walk around. There's a nice sidewalk out there. And there's some benches. There is fountains. There's some swings there. So if you just want to take a seat, rest, watch the boats, watch the wildlife. Sometimes people are out there just randomly playing an instrument or something like that. There's always just different things happening around there. And it's just sort of fun just to be a part of it and be in the middle of it all. And just a beautiful, beautiful setting. Lots of trees, pet friendly. You can take your dogs there and walk them around. And then letter F, there's playgrounds. So in the downtown section in Laurel Park, there's actually just a precious little playground there. If you drive down the street, you could pass it and you don't even know that you passed it. It's not very large, and it's, I think, geared more towards younger kids, but it's just nice to have something there where families can walk over and let their kids play in this nice little area. Lots of trees. But then also at Bayfront Park, across the street there, across Gulfstream Avenue, where the marina is, there's also a really nice playground there, a little bit larger, and it's going to be more ideal for bigger kids. Sounds good so far, right? Well, now let's talk a little bit more about the real estate. So number 3, what types of neighborhoods are in downtown Sarasota? So generally speaking, in the downtown area, it's all just a blend of several different neighborhoods. Sometimes you don't even know when you're going into one and coming out of another. Some of them do have like these little modest signs in a couple of key areas that will identify which section you're in, but you could drive past it, not even know you drove past it, or like I said, it's not all the areas where there's this solid dividing line saying, you're leaving Laurel Park right now. That's not really the case. In this area, there are no CDD fees, and generally speaking, for the single family homes, there are no HOA dues. Now, with some of the new builders coming in, they're taking some sections that maybe had not been developed, or maybe just taking some older homes down and building some single family homes. So I think there's a section or two where there is a little bit of a wall and a gate to get into that neighborhood, and there would be some HOA dues in that case. But honestly, I think there's only one neighborhood in there right now like that, so I'm not going to really focus on that. Really, generally speaking, the whole area, just very eclectic. Note, like I said, no dues, no CDD fees or anything like that. So what I want to do is just share with you the names of 4 of the larger or well-known sections of this downtown area. There are a couple more, and actually the names are so kind of random. It's just sort of like letters and numbers that it's not really worth it for me to mention. So first of all, told you about before, is Laurel Park. And there is a park in Laurel Park, as I told you about before. And so that's a really cute area. There's another area called Washington Park. And then there's Towles Court, that's where they have one of the, it's like there's some art galleries and things there. It's more of an artist colony. And then another section is Burns Court, and that's where you got the Burns Court Cinema Theaters right there. And some of those homes are kind of neat looking in that section as well. Now, as I said, all the neighborhoods, these little sections sort of blend together. Unless you really dove in and you walk the areas a lot, you would tell the difference from one to the other. But just for the average person driving through, it all kind of looks the same. And it's just very eclectic, very nice, just kind of a fun place to live. Now, none of these homes have any type of view really. They're all gonna be interior garden homes. They're not on the water, they're not on the bay. There might be 1 or 2 in there on canals. Honestly, I don't think that there's anything on water. So keep that in mind. You don't have a water view, but you're so close to the bayfront that's just nice that you could walk or bike or drive over to that area and enjoy the water views from that perspective. Number 4, what are the types of homes? Okay, so in this area, we've got it all from homes that were built in the early 1900s, because as you can imagine, as Sarasota was being developed, this was an area that was focused on more at first being closer to the water and having that access. That was really important. And then as the decades have gone by, homes have been built. Now maybe homes that were built in the 60s, 70s, and 80s could have possibly been built on lots that were never developed in the first place, or maybe a home was torn down. And then today, pretty much if you're going to see a newer home, it's because an older house was taken down and made way, to make way for these newer properties. But I will say, even with the newer homes, they've done a really nice job, a lot of the folks that have been doing that, trying to kind of maintain or preserve the look and feel of this area. A lot of times the newer homes will look like they're older craftsman style, even though they're only 4 or 5 years old. So that's kind of nice, but really in the end, the whole area is pretty eclectic. Now, some of these homes are going to be tiny, 500, 600 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and some of them are going to be a lot larger. I would say overall, the lot sizes are pretty small. There are some where the lots are larger, so that's why I mentioned earlier in the video, if you're looking really for a lot of privacy, you want a larger backyard, then the downtown area probably will not be a good fit for you, just because that's just not the style of the land there and how it's been plotted out over the years. Now, as best as I could figure from doing my research, going through the tax records, I think there's about 200 single family homes in this area. Now, there's a lot more condos, because a lot of buildings would have 60 or 70, 80 units in one building. So there are a lot more condominiums there than there are houses. So it's very limited on what you can get there and your options, just to be right in that little tiny sweet spot of this area. But in the end, this entire area is far from cookie cutter. It's very eclectic, very lovely, and very well maintained. Number 5, what are the prices of these homes? Okay, so here we are, great location, great area, close to the beach, close to walking to things, close to the bayfront. You've got it all right here. So what is it going to cost you? Well, on average, it's going to cost you around $1 million to purchase a property there. Now on the low end, if you've got a smaller house, like I said, some of those 2-bedroom homes, maybe 1 bath, 1.5 baths, 600 square feet, you can get something for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. And then also, because it's mixed in with some of these commercial properties throughout, some of these smaller homes or less expensive homes, instead of being backed up to another house, it could be backed up or near a commercial property. I would say the commercial properties are scattered throughout. There are some areas where it's more concentrated and some sections where it's a little scattered. So keep that in mind when you're looking at properties in this area. Now at the high end, most recently it's been about $1.8 million. So that's why if you had about $1 million to look at spending, you know, you could get something decent, nothing huge, but that's what it would take to purchase there in the downtown area. Okay, number 6, pros and cons. So first, cover the pros. As I already mentioned enough, location, location, location. So much going on in that area, just a great area to be in. Another pro is some of the properties, not a lot, but some of the properties are zoned for mixed use. So they're already set up, or they could be set up where you can live in part of the property and then use part of it for commercial space where you'd be permitted to have customers come in. Like, let's say you did some type of consulting, I don't know, maybe you do massages, or I don't know, just, you know, maybe you're a counselor. You can use part of the property then to permit customers to come in and use the place, and then also you can live there. And also, like you can see in the Towles Court, Burns Court area, you're going to see more of that. And maybe, like I said before, if they have a gallery, an art space of some sort, so that's sort of nice, and then you get a little bit of a 2-for-1. So you're saving some money, and you don't need a separate commercial space and a place where you're gonna live. What else is great about this area is just about a mile south of downtown Sarasota is Sarasota Memorial Hospital, which is a fantastic hospital. Plus there's a lot of other doctor's offices, specialists right there, dentist offices. My dentist is right there, my oral surgeon. I feel like I'm always at the dentist. I got lots of issues with my teeth over the years. So that's all right there, just south of downtown. And then about 5 miles north is the Sarasota Airport. So you're pretty close to a lot of great things. Now we got to talk about those cons. First of all, some of the properties, not all of them, are in a flood zone. So you need to consider that when you're thinking about purchasing a property. And then also I do love the older homes. If you've seen any of my other videos, I say that a lot. I don't live in an older home, but to me that would be a dream to have something really cool like that. But with the older homes, you've got to be mindful of the roofs, but also the electric and the plumbing. You want to make sure everything's up to code and it's safe. So just be cautious of that. And then also, sometimes those older homes are going to be wood frame. And obviously, if they've been standing there for 100 years, they must be doing quite well. But, you know, there's more to it than that with these older framed homes. You're going to be at higher risk of having termites or maybe wood rot. Now, even with the block home, you can have termites because there's still wood framing within the house, and that does come up on occasion. But of course, if the whole house is wood, then you are at higher risk of some of those things. And with those wood frame houses, they're not sitting on a slab most of the time. Sometimes that foundation are just cement blocks, cinder blocks, you know, at key points around the perimeter of the house. Now, sometimes they're almost the entire perimeter, and sometimes it's just at certain areas just to keep the structure sound. So look for that type of thing when you're looking at these homes. That's something to consider, is, you know, how structurally sound the property is. What is also kind of funny sometimes with these older homes is I just love it when they've been preserved really well, or maybe somebody has done some updating just to make it more practical, like making space for a dishwasher or a larger refrigerator, you know, then things have to be done differently. But when a house is 100 years old and you go into it, you can see like every owner has done something different over the years. So it's like this kaleidoscope of different styles over the decades. It's kind of crazy sometimes, and you think, what were these people thinking? Like, there's no consistency, there's nothing, you know, stabilizing with this property, you know, in terms of like style and conditions. So that's why sometimes some of those properties are less money, just because they're kind of a hot mess in terms of, you know, how they've been updated over the years. So that's pretty interesting. And then also with the older homes, sometimes they have a historical home designation. And that designation can come from the state, and it can also come from the nationally. And I think from the city of Sarasota, there can be a placard too. So you're going to see a placard on the outside of the house if it does have one of these designations. So you just we have to dig in and see, okay, what are the limitations with things that you can do to this house? Sometimes it's just things they want to make sure that you're, you know, maintaining that original look. And so if you did want to do something to the exterior, you might have to go through different, like a board, or jump through some different hoops in order to get that approved before you can make changes. So you never have to keep a designation on the house. Once it's on there, you can have it removed. But if it's on there and you want to keep it on there, then you need to know what things you need to be mindful of before you make changes to the house. Otherwise, you do lose the designation. Okay, then finally, keep in mind you are living in the downtown area. So if you do fall in that camp where you're looking for a little bit more peace and quiet, then this may not be the best location for you, because with all those events and activities and extra traffic that can be going through, you're going to experience that too. You're going to hear and see some of that. Now, some of the homes are maybe better locations where you're going to capture less of that, but I would just want to warn you that, yeah, sometimes you're going to get some extra noise or just extra traffic because of all of those events. So what are your thoughts about living in the Sarasota area? Is it a good fit for you? And what did I miss out on mentioning, whether it's good or bad? If you've thought of something, please throw it in the comments below. That doesn't bother me at all. I want to make sure that people can really understand our area. So whether it's good or bad, go ahead and throw it in there. I would appreciate it. Now keep in mind again, if there's anything I can do for you, if there's questions I can answer, anything I can help you out with, please give me a call, text, or email me. I'm here to help you out. And if there's another area that you're looking in as well, and I can connect you with a great agent there, then I'm happy to do that also. So don't think that I'll be upset by that or anything like that. That's okay. You're trying to figure out where to live. That's a big, big deal. So I'm happy to help you out however I can. Again, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you like the video, please tap that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, you guys have a great day. Take care.